Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Jobless Weebs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Marco, the Big One Mexican, your host for today, and with me today,
Brian here. Mm-hmm.
Hey Brian, how are you?
I'm so confused with the adult world. Like, things should work out that don't work out the way you think they do. But yeah, it's still going. Get through it somehow.
Well, yeah, I really hope so, because...
Yeah. Because we still gotta talk about anime.
Yeah, I mean...
That's right.
That's our only way out.
Yeah. That's right. I can't let...
Yeah, I need my co-host.
That's right.
So...
Yeah, I gotta keep coming here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because otherwise this podcast will turn into a monologue, which I'm still not very good at. So.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I'll keep calling online or something so we could keep doing this.
Right, we can schedule a Zoom meeting or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be interesting, like the one time you were Mecha Brian.
Oh yes, I remember that.
In one of the earliest episodes.
That's right. That was
an interesting one.
Yeah, it didn't really work, but we'll have to think of something. How have you been?
I've been good. I started my vacation today, so...
Nice. No work then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
good.
getting paid, which is even more fun.
That's way good.
Yeah. After this vacation, it will definitely be a pain going back to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But in the meantime,
yeah.
I have a couple days just planned out to relax myself, which kind of like it relax in some lapses of time, because I'm also thinking in working in some personal projects that I'm really hoping to post in here, for which I'm obviously generating more work for me later on.
Yeah. It'll be a little tough, I think.
Yeah.
What I hear.
I mean,
yeah.
At the beginning,
it'd be worth it.
At the beginning, probably it will definitely be fun. At the editing, I will probably wish my life to be over, but post editing is like, it's gonna be okay. So the best thing is that I didn't plan this, or I didn't plan it like the way I used to plan things, because like when it's about life choices, I don't plan anything.
Oh no.
But when it's about, my leisure time and some personal project, I like it to be very precise, like regarding schedules or activities. But for this time, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wing it. So, I mean,
kind of spur the moment.
Yeah, I'll see how it goes, and it's gonna be a surprise. So
yeah, absolutely.
Both for the people watching and for me, because
yep. Not knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, I kind of like have a motion of what I would like to do, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm just gonna wing this.
Yeah.
And see, because I'm not exactly, like a very energetic person. So if I would have to describe myself, I would call myself a Snorlax, which is like lying there and relaxing. So it's like, I want to try something that only a Snorlax having fun would do.
I see. Snorlax.
Moving on to the anime that we're going to talk about today. It's an anime that I finished recently. Mm-hmm. And you know me, every time that I finish an anime, I always like to talk about it and discuss it, because
it ends.
Yeah.
But you're still thinking about it.
Yeah, of course. And this one, it hasn't ended, and it was renewed for a 4th season for this spring.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's a very interesting one. It's generally not my type of genre, but again, since I binge watched the show, it like kind of like the hype build up. Which sometimes that's my biggest complaint, because it's like there's just a lot of hype in animes or in shows that they're like, now you have to wait 1 week to watch the next episode. And you're like, but my heartbeat is literally just keep pumping blood like a mile a second.
Oh dear.
And then you just like, yeah, just wait next week.
Wait, next week. Yeah.
So
I know. Oh, I know. I know the feeling. I've talked with a couple of people in the past too about it, and a lot of people told me they actually just wait uh, until everything's released and then watch it. But yeah, I find myself in that boat a lot of the time myself.
yeah, and also this anime, I don't really know how's the fandom, and
Oh,
honestly, fandoms are overrated, to be
oh,
honest. And
oh yes.
sometimes
Sometimes it's not the
it's hard to
greatest.
get into fandoms
Yeah.
because like you like it,
Mhm.
but not to the point where you know how many times the main character has eaten lunch, kind of thing.
Ah,
So it's
yes.
like I'm just so excited about the show that I want to talk about it.
Yeah, but not really dive into
Yeah,
that
but
detail.
of course.
Yes,
And the anime, it's called Kingdom.
Ah, yes. Okay.
It's definitely a seinen anime,
Yeah.
a warfare anime,
Uh,
and it's not exactly a gory one, which I was surprised because
oh,
I mean it talks about a lot of like war strategies and it shows people fighting and everything, but it doesn't really show like as much blood as you would expect
I
from
see.
the type of
From
genre that it is.
right
So
of a war anime,
yeah, so it's
literally.
not a gory anime, which
Okay.
that was one of the good points that I found, at least from my point of view.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And this anime takes place almost on the final years of a 500-year war, which in regular history it's called the Warring States of China.
Oh yes.
The real history, like real world history behind it, it's
Oh
super
yeah.
interesting. And one thing that I liked about this anime was how they bend history to put it into this anime, because of course you have a main character, but it doesn't focus solely on the main character, because there
Mm.
are a lot of more other prominent figures from kind of like real
Mm.
history, or
Mm-hmm.
like important characters from like either like a political or a military point of view that also affect what's happening on this anime.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's definitely an anime that you should not be sleeping with.
Ah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's one of those anime that you have to pay attention because there are
Yeah.
just so many names of people and places, and if you miss something, it will be kind of hard because like, what was that again?
Oh, I see. Right. It's a large scale
Definitely.
story.
The show currently has 3 seasons, one on the way, and
Mhm.
I wanted to make this kind of like in preparation of the fourth season that it's coming later in April.
Oh yes.
And
It's coming up very soon
yeah,
too. Yeah.
I started watching this video right after our what will we be watching episode.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Because we covered the
Yeah,
shows for the upcoming season.
yeah, especially in
already.
that part, we were like, oh yeah, fourth season must be good then, and
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. We couldn't really say anything much about it.
So the anime, it's based on kind of like an actual historical event,
Mhm.
because it takes place for the seven warring states, and the seven warring states, just to put it into context, are the following ones: the kingdoms of Chun, Han, Qi, Qin, Wei, Zhan, and Zhao. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing them
Okay.
correctly, but I'm like 80% sure that that's how you pronounce them.
Yes, I do recognize a few names. So these are states. Uh, I'm guessing that a lot of them are clans and groups of people.
Yeah, kind of like to put
Mhm.
it a little bit of history behind how the Warring States began, because the
Yes.
Warring States period uh, started from 475 before Christ to 221 before Christ.
Okay.
The events of the anime take place around 240 something, I believe, before Christ. So yeah, it's
240
really
BC.
close to the end of the war.
Yeah. All right.
And also the way it began, it began kind of like in a way that China was, a whole kingdom. It was a unified kingdom, but then because of a king or like an emperor not doing his job, and I'm like super simplifying things.
Oh yeah, totally. Like a summary and totally like yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting this into apples and pears terms.
apples and oranges. Oh dear.
Yeah, because I spent quite a lot, quite some time like doing my research, and I was like, just getting to the point.
Yeah, what happened?
There was this king that was not doing things very good, and he had some vassals, and each vassal had portions of land to govern. But then these vassals were like, you know what, the land that I have, it's not enough, and I want to be the sole leader, so I want more. And so,
so this is you could say this is like a feudal system then.
Yes,
the feudal lord and gotcha.
And so they kind of like rebelled, and they're like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna be my own boss. I can self-sustain myself, and so that's how those kingdoms of like Chu, Han, Kui, Qin, Wei, Yan, and Shao came to be because of those vassals from that king.
Oh my! So this was there's an uprising there. Oh, we'll go squash it, like from the emperor's point of view. But it's more like locations all around, rise up all at once.
Yeah, because it was just a bunch of nobles that didn't have enough with the land they had, so they were like,
sure,
you know what? I don't think it's bad to want more, so we're gonna build our own state or kingdom.
Yikes! Okay, yeah.
So after that stuff, then each vassal, not that was an independent state, they were like, you know what? I kind of want more. And why you see that those guys have more territory than me?
Oh, I see.
And so they started fighting each other. Yeah. And this war clearly was very long.
Oh, absolutely.
Until at the end of it, the state of Qin, they decided that they wanted to unify China. And you know what's the easiest way to unify China? Conquer them.
Undoubtedly. Okay.
So at the very last few years, Qin became very powerful and ultimately conquered all the land and began the Qin dynasty, which lasted very long.
Right. Okay. So that's like the very simplified, like, this is what happened. And wow.
Yeah, the anime only covers like the last, so far it has covered, like the last 10 years-ish, probably like 20 years at most.
Okay.
So far. And the main character in here, his name is Rin Shin. And this main character, he is a servant. So Shin is an orphan.
Yeah, right.
Because since the war has been going for a very long time, his parents were killed during wars. So since he was an orphan, he was bought to be a servant, and he was a servant. And he had a friend, and his friend, he always would train with him, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be the greatest generals," because apparently in that time, like being a soldier, being at war was something very honorable.
Yeah, that's the prestigious thing to
So they were like, we will somehow climb up the ranks and from like the very bottom, we will be like at the very top, military speaking, and of course, we will not be nobles, but we will be like high-ranking generals, which will be something very close to it.
Yeah.
And so the second most important character there, it's the king of the Shin state, and his name is Eisei. He is about the same age as Shin, and the one other thing is that Sei, he is like the exact copy of Shin's best friend. There was someone from the royal court that saw Shin's best friend and called him out and took it to the royal court to act as a double, as a body double for the king. Then he was ambushed, he was killed, and he returned to Shin. Ooh. And Shin told him like, "Oh, you gotta go to this place, and then you'll know what to do." And then he dies, and Shin is like, "What the heck's happening here?"
Okay.
So
just kind of thrust upon him then.
Yeah, on the very first episode, like it throws you a lot of information, and you're like, wait, what's happening here?
Okay, well, that kind of sounds like Yona of the Dawn, but kind of like reversed.
Kinda.
In nobility. Yeah.
So he goes to a shed where his best friend sent him, and he sees Says, and he's like, "Why do you look like my best friend?" And so after some shenanigans, they decided to kind of like team up, because turns out that this king, or he doesn't know that, but he's supposed to be the king, but there was some internal affair that made him to be dropped away, so he's in hiding. And so Shin is like, "Okay, I'm gonna help you just because my best friend was killed because of you." And
okay.
And
sounds complicated.
Their relationship it's kind of bumpy at the beginning, but as it evolves, they start to become good friends, up to the point where he addresses the king as a regular person, while everyone else is like, "Dude, he's the king." He's like, "You're not supposed to talk to the king like that."
Oh, I see. Okay.
The first season of the anime covers how Shin helps Sei to return to his throne, and fixing a lot of, or like some of the biggest internal affairs.
Too much infighting.
Yeah.
I see. Right. Okay. So this first season sets up that internal power.
Yeah. Kind of like a lot of power disputes, and because they were still at war, but they still had to kind of like fix the things they had going on within their ranks.
Yeah.
And he is also the leader of a small army or a unit.
Okay.
And he tells the king like, "Hey, like I'm gonna be a great general," and the king is like, "Well, I'm gonna conquer all of China, and
I see.
And I'm gonna need a great general." So.
Right. You need good military to do that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The second season, it's more about external affairs and how this king is kind of like thinks that it's kind of like easy to start conquering. So he's like, "You know what? Yeah, we're gonna start mobilizing our troops, try to spread ourselves and gain more terrain from other kingdoms."
Right.
And that's about it. And they notice that it's not that easy.
Okay. I see.
One of the things that could be highlighted from this anime, it's a lot of the military strategies, because it's not so much that they that they show the wars, but they're like, "Oh yeah, this is the plan that we came up with, and this is kind of like a live version of chess kind of thing."
Yep. pieces are moving around,
Yeah.
and then the generals have to make sure they're communicating with their strategies.
Yeah, of course. Also, in this anime, since it's an anime, they don't have exactly like magic or any supernatural stuff, but they do have some superhuman strength and.
Yes. Yeah, you mentioned last time that that you recognized a couple of the names that are like ones that we recognize from the Warring State periods in the anime.
Yeah. They actually,
and they're those are the ones then.
Yeah,
with this like great.
Yeah, like some of the
yes.
historical figures or like commanders, generals from that time. In here, they depict him as super powerful, like one of those that they just swing their sword or like whatever weapon they have at their disposition, and then like they kill like the whole front ranks. And
I see.
What the heck is that?
Yeah, this is over the top, man. Oh my.
That's the only like over the top.
Right. The anime-esque thing.
Yeah, that's the anime-esque thing. It's like, what the hell? He just swing the sword and he highlighted the whole enemy.
Oh my. Gotcha.
So,
wow.
So yeah, that was.
Yeah.
He's not exactly disappointed.
Oh yeah. Well, those are dramatic.
It's very dramatic and it builds up. Of course, I would not recommend it for a live action, but for anime, it sits well because you expect it. Kind of like when's the anime part coming on? And with the anime part, is like either like something supernatural or out of the ordinary.
Right.
So it's like
yeah,
I can see that happening in anime. Yeah. Probably not in real life, but. So yeah, the second season, it's about how they are wanting to start the process of conquering other lands, which turns out that they see that it's not very easy. And on the third season, it's more the story of how after they notice that conquering other lands is not that easy, turns out that those other lands are planning to do the exact same thing with them.
Oh, no way! Okay. So okay. This is complicated then. What the heck? So, interesting. So it sounds like they've all had time then to kind of plan. And we get to see more of the other states then.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's certainly a twist, I would say.
Yeah, and it also shows some portions of more internal affairs that were not noticed on the first season. And because they were not noticed, they escalated and they became big, and now they are apparent. So first season is just like internal stuff.
Right.
Second season is like
extending out.
External stuff, how to extend land, and it's like, it's not that easy.
Yeah, and I'm guessing mostly like ones that are close by.
Yeah. And third season is like, oh crap, we didn't plan this ahead, and we're basically being attacked from both inside and outside.
Oh no! Okay. Okay. Well, I haven't seen it personally, but that is probably like the worst case scenario in wartime, because it's like, where do you face? So that's the worst.
It was interesting because, I mean, historically, and I think that the anime is, even though it's not historically true.
Oh, right. Well,
so far it seems
adaptations take liberty on story making, and then, well, even the past is hard to look at to see what really. Well, you can't really even say the past history is easy to look at and say what really happened. But yeah,
I think that they are taking advantage of that liberty
Oh, absolutely. Because
So
you
so
can
so
make
they
it
are
sort of.
forming this anime in a way that
Yeah.
they're telling us kind of like, yeah, the state of Chin,
Mhm.
it's the one that is going to unify China at the
Right.
end,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
didn't have it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like making that.
On the third season, they show
Uh,
how actually one of the internal affairs that they had were that there was one person that wanted to unify China not through warfare but
ah.
through economy, which
Which also is
which is
powerful.
definitely a
It's
good
very
idea.
powerful.
Kind of like thinking in modern
Yeah.
times
Uh,
is like, you know what, trying to create a more stable society
ah.
through the economy is
Yeah.
way better than
Oh well.
violence and
Oh
stuff.
well. Oh. Right. Right. I would agree. Yeah.
But in there, the way that he's doing stuff, I mean, you exactly pinpoint him as a bad guy,
Mm.
and at the
Hmm.
same time, you don't, because it's like, well,
Oh.
it's not like the actual good guys are doing good things, you know?
Oh. Right. Right. Like yeah. Like how are we looking at it in that way? Yeah.
Yeah, the way the anime presents everything is like,
Hmm.
yeah, these are the good guys,
Mm.
but like some of their actions are kind of messed
Ah.
up.
Yeah.
And some of the, because they decide to take some actions,
Mm.
is because later on they have to face some other consequences that are
Oh.
also messed up from
Oh.
other
Okay.
kingdoms. And it's like, it's not exactly like the other
Oh.
kingdoms are bad,
Hmm.
because when you watch anime, it's
Yeah.
very easy to
Oh,
to
to
put
say
like
like bad and
groups,
good.
like, yeah,
Oh, it's
this
very,
group is
very
bad, this
easy.
group is good.
Yeah, it's
But
very
for
easy to
this
do
one,
that
it's
in
like,
anime. Yeah.
well, it's history, so they weren't really good guys and they weren't really bad guys. They were just like people fighting for their interests,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether they were money, more land,
Mm.
or glory in the
Even
battlefield.
even that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because pretty much
And
like the main character, that's what he
mm,
wants, like glory in the battlefield.
right, right. It's been centuries of fighting and for him, his whole town. It was his. Well, was it his whole town that was like wiped away?
Yes.
Or yeah, yeah, and for him, like being a amazing soldier is good if he can like protect that from ever happening again. So yeah.
The other good thing that
Mm,
I saw about this anime is
mhm.
that even though the main character is Shin and the king,
Right.
there are episodes where they don't show them at all.
Really? Oh, weird. Okay. And
So
that's when you see like more of the
yeah,
external affairs
so
stuff.
so he's like,
Oh,
okay, like,
ah,
yeah, he is there,
yeah.
but the anime is not only about watching him grow or become stronger.
Uh,
It's like how he gets a notice, or how he sees his environment, or how he hears about the other battlefields and how he keeps
ah.
learning. But it's not like, oh yeah, I heard about this. It's like, yeah, we're gonna ignore this guy for a second and we're gonna move to this part because it's far more interesting.
Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. I see. Yeah. Whatever is moving at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the anime again are like war strategies or battles. And from time to time there's some, slow pace episodes where they're just like chilling,
Ah, yeah.
or some like they crack some jokes, kind of like
Ah,
to,
yeah. To lighten the mood.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah,
Mm.
that's about it. I'm actually excited for the fourth season,
Mm, mhm.
because I've also been following the manga a little bit,
Okay, okay.
and
Yeah. So you know a
uh,
little bit of the direction that
yeah,
it'll
I mean,
go.
and right now, like, no spoilers, but there's still some internal affairs that, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I see, I see. Well, that would be very dramatic, and I think that could go really well. The fourth season, then, uh, yeah. What are some of your predictions then that you think could
Um,
happen? Obviously, the
well,
Shin Dynasty does start at the end of the wars.
yeah. So right now, my best guess is that probably the fourth season is going to finish with Shin, the main character, using one of the weapons that was given to him by one of the great generals
Oh.
that he met on the first season.
Oh, okay.
So that's my best guess, and
Yeah.
because at the end of the first season, there was this general. There was General Oki, and this general was part of the six great generals from before Shin was born. So there was a time when the state of Qin was very powerful because it has six great generals, and Oki was one of them. And by the time Shin is in the battlefield, Oki is the last one of the great generals alive.
The great generals.
And so the enemy lays a trap for them, and they injure of death Oki. And Aoki, before dying, he gives his spear to Chin, but and Chin was like, okay, but I'm too weak now, so he gives it to the king, and he tells him like, hey, save it for me when I'm prepared. And later on, also another general, or like one of the commanders, before dying, he gives his shield to Shin, and it was like a golden shield. And Shin was like, okay, here's another thing for you to say before I become more stronger. So yeah, I'm really hoping that the first season at least shows at the end
that happening,
how he now wields those weapons.
Yeah.
And yeah, the manga is still running.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It has around, I think, like more than 600 episodes.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
600 chapters released.
Yeah, and
that's huge.
Season 3 was over in episode 320 something of the manga.
Wow. So there's a lot.
There's
more
definitely enough material for 3 more seasons.
Oh,
so far.
Easily. Yeah.
So
wow, this is incredible. So this is definitely a story then that's still going and still alive.
Yeah, it's definitely a story that is still evolving.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, yeah, you know what's gonna happen at the end, because the state of Qin is going to conquer them all. But it's
really cool to watch.
It's cool to watch.
Yeah.
How it's not like, you know, your typical power fantasy anime that is like, the main characters, they don't even sweat when facing an enemy. Because even when,
and that's it. It's just they go in and just they take down the enemy or whatever problem they're facing. But yeah, and that's an issue with power trip anime.
Yeah, so in this, I wouldn't say if it's alright to call it like a power anime, because it definitely has some power, because some characters are definitely
too
powerful for human standards.
But it's not like the main character is like solving everything.
Because the main character, he has all the aptitudes to be, you know, your standard shonen protagonist. Sometimes he's a bit annoying. He's more of a muscle head. So like, he's smart, but not very smart.
Yeah.
He's just like very persistent kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, you could be like a good shonen protagonist.
Oh, easily. Oh wow.
But yeah, that's about it. And kind of like to hype things up or not, because like I mean, if the podcast just confuse you more and you decide to watch it from there, that's also cool.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that definitely sounds like an anime worth giving it a shot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, this was it for today.
Yep.
To prepare you for season 4.
Yep.
I'm actually probably gonna wait.
Oh really?
At least to watch a couple of episodes together.
Oh yes.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, to really get like into it and really I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, this was episode 41. I hope you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And see you next episode. Probably for a special.
Ooh, that's right.
Episode next.
Most likely.
But yeah, keep watching anime and see you next week.
See ya.